You're just wasting the doctor's time. Did you hear that? I'm going to say that for emphasis. It's a Chinese proverb. It says, he that takes medicine and neglects his diet does what? It's doctor's time. Just put it like that. The French guy, I won't call the name. He said to eat is a necessity, but to eat intelligently is what? An art. Okay. All right. Now, for most of us, we're very lucky that we don't know when we're planned. We just came to the world and we're born. No announcement, nothing. And when we go, we just forget. We don't know. As Christians, we know we migrate to another better world. But when we are around, we have the opportunity to manage our lives very well. So I titled this as Live Well. About a week ago, I went to a grocery store and I saw an 81-year-old man. This man came in and I saw what he bought. He had some vegetables and some things. And I said, you must be eating well. I just challenged him a little bit. He said, that's why I'm 90 years old. I said, you can't be 90. So to cut a long story short, before we left the place, this guy was not just 81, he was bubbling, he could race anyone out of the place. He went out very quickly and he was looking very bubbly. You see, my mission is actually to encourage as many of us to reach 100 years old. So we should grow old without becoming old. Is that a good goal? Yes. So, okay, all right. Now, so my text is actually, as you can see, it's from the Bible. 3 John 2. Most of us are very familiar with this passage of the Bible. But oftentimes when we talk about that, we just stay on the prospect. The prosperity is good. But we hang on that and we forget the good health. Right? So I want you today, look at a couple years ago, about 18th century, you can see that man there, a French guy, said, tell me what you eat and I'll tell you who you are. And I see that for most things that most of us worry about, we talk about HIV, we talk about cancer, we talk about so many other things. When you put all of that together, what actually kills us is not those things. They do, but when you look at the percentages, they're very, very small. Up till as I speak to you today, the #1 killer of man is a heart disease. And the heart disease is from what you and I eat, and because we don't exercise. Right? So at this point, I'm going to ask everybody to get up. If you just step out a little bit. I still have the podium, so I have the opportunity of doing what? All right, just get out from your chairs a little bit, and we're going to warm up a little bit for another 2 minutes, right? Okay, so join me to, all right? Can we go? Oh. Please don't stand, I'm watching. Can we continue, please? Can we do that? This might be the first exercise we're going to do in the last 1 year. Can we continue, please? Mommy, Ogulokun, I can see you do that. Right? No one is exempt. Can we continue, please? Yes, please. Right? Can we continue? Can we continue? Right? You want another exercise? Right? Can we continue? Can we continue? Can we continue? Right? Can we go? Can we do some cardio? Can we do some of that? Right? Can we do that? Right? Can we do that? Yes, please. Can we do that? Yes. Please sit down. Thank you. Clap for yourself. Now, I have done this to let you know that if you do this regularly, you add at least 10 years to your age. As simple as that. As simple as that. If you do this regularly, unfortunately, we don't do it. Unfortunately, we don't do it. Statistics shows that only about 5% of people exercise regularly. Another 6% say it by mouth, they dream it, they go to the gym, and they get out of the gym very quickly. Right? Now, let's go on. To live well, Now, look at that slide for a second. Right? 90% of what? Problems known to men are caused by what we eat. 90%. 90%. That's a lot. 90%. Okay. Now, recently, 1960, not too long, right? Some of us here were around then. Someone went to college and forgot all mother and grandmother taught them to eat. Started eating anyhow and became sick. Eventually died. And that was why Miss Davis became the person who talked about organic food. That was her story. Right? Now, most of us, some of us are used to you probably know this gentleman, Jordan Rubin, right? Okay, Garden of Life. He went again, similar to Miss Davis' story, he went to college. He's the son of a doctor, and he ate well at home. But he went there and ate all the junk. And before 2 years, he was looking like so, right? He was looking like the one on my right. And he got to the point in which they got so confused. He had said he's the son of a doctor, so he saw all the doctors, they couldn't help him. Eventually, when he saw and understood what it is to eat right, that's what it looks like now, right? Now, look at couple statistics with me. Very important. How many of us have known that recently when you enter the airplane, the prices have been going up and on and up and up and up? You know what? If you travel frequently, in the last 10 years, it's more than double. Do you know why? Huh? Do you know why? Because they're using a whole lot more gas to move the airplane. Why? Because a lot of us are bigger and bigger than. So the plane has to lift a lot more heavier, and so they burn more gas. And so because of that, they're charging us, all of us together. You get that? This is the statistics. Can you see what happens? If you're about 25% overweight, possibility of developing heart disease is high. High blood pressure, diabetes type 2, cancer. Now, I'm going to rest on that for a little bit. Everybody's scared of cancer. But actually, recent statistics actually show that the incidence of cancer is a mixture of dynamics of the hormone play and the fat. Now, I say this with all seriousness. It's just not the fat that everyone sees. We have both the internal fat and the external fat. Let me say that for a moment. I want to keep this as simple as possible. The visceral fat is the internal fat. The outside one, or the subcutaneous fat, is the one you see and say, oh, this guy's a little overweight. Unfortunately, the one that kills people is the internal fat, which most of us carry. If you have fat in your vessels, people can have high blood pressure, heart attacks, and so on and so forth. Most of us carry that. Why am I saying that? Statistics shows that during the Vietnam War, some of the children that died, who were just in their 20s, when they did the autopsies, they saw cholesterol in the arteries, and they were only 18, 19, 20. Right? Currently, we have a program called the Early Intervention Program to Matters of the Heart, which we meet on Thursdays and exercise and talk about that. If you see what we talked the last time about cholesterol, 20-year-old have their arteries half blocked already. By the time you're a man and you're about 40, you're about 2/3 blocked already. And if you're a woman, by the time you're 50, you're about 2/3 blocked because of what we eat. Very important. So are you surprised where we all carry high blood pressure, we all have diabetes, and so on and so forth? Most of that can be corrected when you do the exercises and choose your food rightly. Next slide. Now, recently this was changed from the typical food pyramid that all of us are used to typical, to simplify that. My simplification is that every food you eat, make sure you have fruits and vegetables. We forget every other, we remember every other thing. We remember the meat, the fried stuff. We remember, all the starch. They're good, don't get me wrong. But there is some hidden stuff in the fruits and vegetables. There's some hidden stuff. Let me give you this as a writer. I like this story a whole lot. The lion, average lion lives for how long? Who knows? The lion in the bush. But how long do they live for? Years? 20 to 25 years. And you know what they feed on? Fresh meat. Any gazelle or anything that was carelessly, he picks them up. Now, the elephant, on the other hand, that eats just what? Herbs and trees and leaves, lives up to 85 to 90 years. I'm not saying that will become the elephant, but we can come in between. You get the picture? Right? Okay. Now, look at most of what we have. Now, there are so many fruits and vegetables. But most of us are used to just one, or two, or three. The last time I checked, there are about over 120 different types. What's wrong with the other ones? You know the secret to them? Have you ever lately, how many people have cooked chicken lately? All right. When you finish cooking chicken, what happens? The water in there, what happens? There's a fat layer there, right? Which does what? Sleeps. Okay. When it sleeps, do you know what we normally do, particularly if you're cooking soup? You add that to because we've all put all the ingredients there, and we add that to sweeten it, right? Is that what we do? I started cooking since I was 9, so I know so much about that. Now, what happens is that when you now finish, oftentimes, depends, when you now finish the soup, you have that slip. Now, the fruits and the vegetables are the kind of soap that dissolves the fat. Let me put it for emphasis. If you're going to wash the plate that you have some kind of oil there, what do? You do soap, detergent to wash them. If you don't, if you just put ordinary water, what happens? It's not going to be clean. Now, the fruits and the vegetables are the soap for us to help clean our vessels. And because we're not taking them regularly, those arteries get clogged, and then you start breathing. You just walk a couple steps, and you start breathing, and they get blocked, and that's why the blood pressure goes up, and that's why diabetes and all the other things sets in. But when we exercise and also use those things regularly, it helps our vessels moving. Now, why is this important? It's the same vessels that goes to the brain, and so when it's blocked and it can't go to the brain, you get what is called stroke, right? When it goes to the heart and the heart is blocked, what do you have? Heart attack. When it goes to the eyes and it's blocked, what do you have? Blindness. There's a lot of people that are blind because of cholesterol. For real. There are some people that have their legs amputated. They have half legs because of what? Cholesterol had blocked the vessels to their legs, right? There are so many men who are taking Viagra that they don't need to take. Why? Because the vessels to their right organs are blocked, and all they need to do is what? Exercise and take fruits and vegetables. Right? If you need to ask further questions, we'll talk about that. All right, I just gave you a list of couple stuff. Most of them were used to them, right? Now, I talked about this. Recently, the CDC did a studies, Center for Disease Control, and did that. If you see people that reduce the salt they take, I'm going to talk about the salt just for a little second. The salt that most of us take in this country is about 5 times the normal. Ask me why. 5 times the normal. Now, the normal is about 2,500 milligrams. That's, the spoon, the tablespoonful level. That's all we should take normally for all the food the whole day put together. But the last time I checked, the cereal has a salt. The peanut has a salt. Right? Every canned soup has a salt. Salt is used as preservatives And then we add some couple salt again.